Do not attempt to contact loved ones, insurance agents, or attorneys. Shut up and keep the lights at one level. Do not attempt to think, or depression may occur. Stay in your homes. Curfew is at 7 p.m. sharp after work. Anyone caught outside the gates of their subdivision sectors after curfew will be shot. Remain calm.
No shit.
Do not panic. Your neighborhood watch officer will be by to collect urine samples in the morning. Anyone caught interfering with the collection of urine samples will be shot for trace elements at noon. Anyone who fails to display the mandatory embossed black velvet Mexican-style painting of Oliver North on their living room wall will be shot. Cameras and surveillance equipment will be posted on all lampposts and streetlights. Anyone who fails to attend prescribed worship services on Sunday will be promptly arrested and dispatched to the nearest re-education resort. Stay in your homes. Remain calm. The #1 enemy of progress is questions. National security is more important than individual will. Sports broadcasts, including the Super Bowl, will proceed as normal. No more than 2 people may gather anywhere out on the street without written permission. Use only the drugs prescribed by your boss or supervisor. Shut up. Be happy. Obey all orders without question. The comfort you've demanded is now mandatory. At last, everything is done for you.
This is it, guys. The weirdest motherfucking band that you can't get rid of is up against your face one more time. And today, look what we got. Like I said, we've got It's Balls, Puppets, Flying Circus. We've got everything and anything you could possibly imagine for a smelly, dirty punk rock band to have around. And we have on our right, Mr. James White and his pal Luther. Coming up, we've got backup singers galore. Louie from the Red and the Black, and Dodie, can I say it from the past? The fabulous Ritchie family from the 70s. Yeah! Yeah! No one ever tried. This is by the way, if you're wondering why we're trying to follow something like this, it just happens to be our record. No one can understand this record. Most of the people who are really into hardcore don't understand why we made this record, but we feel good about it. Let's see if we can spread that to you. So we gonna take it straight down the Bowery, make a right turn into the Alphabets, my old home, and now my ass has been kicked out due to gentrification. I'm living where everybody else is living in Brooklyn. And I have the proper hat and the proper attitude to move back onto Avenue B. $1,000 a month.
Where each week we take you around the world for a close-up armchair look at the wild world of animals. We show you ferocious lions we borrowed from a zoo, savagely stalk and attack the prey that we tied down for them ahead of time to ensure that perfect camera angle. We take you Disney style to the so-called white wilderness of the far north. You are there when it's Jonestown season for nature's fascinating lemmings. The same lemmings we purchased earlier from local Eskimo children and transported 1,000 miles away so we could film their migration scene accurately on a revolving snow-covered turntable. But when we got them to the edge of the cliff, those lemmings just wouldn't cooperate. So our crew just picked them up and threw them over the edge and into the river below. Over they go, says the narrator, casting themselves bodily into space. The Arctic Sea is dotted with tiny, bobbing bodies. Besides those endless insurance commercials, we have a special treat for you today here on the Mild Kingdom. A fantastic voyage deep into the heart of the jungles of darkest Lebanon, where our camera zeroes in on an innocent fawn out by the airport near Beirut. Hey! Yo! We're the United States Marines. Now, we know how you all in the Middle East have been killing each other for at least 3,000 years, but we're here now. So stop all this fighting, okay? And, you know, like magic, all your generations of hatred will simply go away. Dude! We're talking national security here. We're here to protect the family of Christian heroin warlords most friendly to the West. So, dude, you just knock off all this fighting and stuff, you hear? Or we'll tell Mom. Not done yet. After a Tom Bosley trash bag commercial, we take you to a cold gray hangar to watch our robust, honest president pretend to mourn 200 brave young men who were shipped home from Beirut, gift-wrapped in hefty brand corpse bags, blown to bits by another goddamn truck bomb. But we knew they were sitting ducks. We sacrificed them Aztec style, so we could use all that dead meat as food for war fever back home. We tied them all down perfectly at the airport in Beirut, just like the prey from the lions from the zoo. And soon, boom! Let's go get them, man! Let's go get them! Look, man, those dirty Arabs did it, man! Let's go get them! Let's go get them! Let's go get them! Let's go get them! Fan the bonfires of racism! Get people hot and boiling for revenge in their living rooms! And then, we can go play shoot 'em up anywhere we choose. Libya, Nicaragua, now our backers can cash in without the public asking a lot of questions.
I'm the taxidermist! I create the poses! From a stand! I wanna take the loser. clouds, staring down at me. Oh, I'm not a hunter, just a necessity. And those pathetic eyes, whose pathetic eyes, I've stuffed you full of fluffed up lies. And those pathetic eyes, staring down at me. Pathetic eyes. Hey neighbor, how you feeling? Are you having a good time? You know what the problem with you is? You know what I've got to say to you? Stop staring at me!
For this week. We hope you've enjoyed our little adventure. We'll see you soon on the high seas of the Persian Gulf, where we'll be back to brainwash you yet again with all the accuracy you've come to expect from life in the mild kingdom. Well, just in case you're wondering what all this is about, my name is Jello Biafra. How did you like our new secret weapon? How did you like Alice Donut? As some of you know, this is sort of a better late than never False Prophets record release party. And their album Implosion is out right now. I have a speaking album called No More Cocoons kicking around. And within 2 to 3 weeks or a little more, Alice Donut's debut album will be available to you on Alternative Tentacles. So worship them and be sure to buy iron-on tattoos available back at the door. And now that you've seen how commercial music has become, you know, beer companies sponsoring bands, where it's written in the contract they have to tell the audience to drink during their live shows. Watch for that. No, it's Miller and Coors who sponsor, not Rolling Rock. You haven't escaped the commercials here either. Look at all them beer logos on the ceiling. Well, it's time to bring commercials where they belong. So here's a commercial. Not hardcore enough for the crew? Is your family afraid to bring you to church? You don't look as good in a jogging suit as Roberto D'Albuisson. death squad head in El Salvador, who ran for president wearing a jogging suit whenever he campaigned. Jesse Helms loves him. Hi there! Karen Carpenter here. The look of today is Barbie and Ken, and you don't want to be left out. I found a weight reduction plan so effective, I came back from the dead just to tell you all about it. Now, why get strung out on the side effects of speed when you can get strung out on our side effects instead at the Karen Carpenter Church of Anorexia? We guarantee you'll stay as slim as Prince or Nancy Reagan in just 30 days, or your money back in a box. Our Clockwork Orange style conditioning will make sure you'll never even think of going near that food again. With exclusively designed magic prongs that jam your eyes wide open while we force feed you endless McDonald's and Safeway commercials over and over and over again. It works. Would we lie to you? You'll feel better about yourself in our comfy habitat, tastefully surrounded by a pink electric fence designed with you in mind. See the latest Jane Fonda workout garb, tastefully modeled by the sentries up in our guard towers. So stop making excuses. Flush your guts out for that Nastasia Kinski snake appeal today. At the Karen Carpenter Church of Anorexia, operators who's standing by, dial 976. Perfect.
I went out for a quart of orange juice in my old neighborhood. I passed by a building I've seen 1,000, 1,000,000 times. When I came back around the corner, it's gone. Nothing is permanent in this world. You would think molecules would know how to get along. The molecules we have here, but they don't all the time. They don't. Molecules repulse themselves. 1,000 coexistence. Rigor mortis ruins run. Nowadays I walk alone. I'm comforted by the sidewalk spectacle. Nowadays I watch alone. The parade on the pincushion. This is not a pity cry, for I shall live where others perish.
I was? Well, thank you. Speaking of bad radio, I don't know what the station is here that's doing this, but the reason I came back out to the East Coast is Monday I'm going to lock horns with a radio evangelist in Washington, D.C. in an auditorium full of 500 born-again Christians. This guy thinks Joni Mitchell is a Satanist, Phoebe Snow is a Satanist, Bon Jovi worships the devil, and that busting me for Frankenchrist is justified because I once called Jerry Falwell a racist lunatic. What you get instead is another commercial. We've got a brand new deadly toy. A pure fighting machine to brainwash your boy. An egocentric muscle thug like you'll see tomorrow night at the Chris Williamson show. A bullshitter in the Indochina shop. Pull a string in his back. He rewrites history. Pull a string in his back. We win the war that we never really should have started at all. A Cabbage Patch terrorist to call our own. His security blanket is a machine gun. Don't think about it, kill it. That's what we teach your child. This Christmas, walk tall with Rambozo the Clown. To draft-age kids, this'll look like fun. Kill them all! Let God sort them out! Kick butt like a brat out of hell. Push the button, enemy destroyed like video games. No mess, just fuel for a mass lapse of our common sense. Get up and fight. Might makes right. Brawn over brain means a happy ending. Mass murder ain't just painless, kiddies. Now we've made it cute with Rambozo the Clown. Iron Eagle, Top Gun, war is sexy, war is fun. Eat your G.I. Joe sugar bombs for breakfast, gray shrapnel flavored chewing gum. When the commies invade, you'll rule the hills. Just get you some guns and Cheerios. Like in Red Dawn. Any kid can conquer Libya. Just steal Daddy's fighter plane as instructed in Iron Eagle. But look who came home in a wheelchair. VA hospital? They don't care. Sorry, Charlie. We're the machine. You're just a tool who fell for the myth of Rambozo the Clown.
All right. Let's get everybody up here now. Went out west. We didn't believe our eyes. There were cowboys all around us, and they were 13 and 14 and 15 and 16 years old, and then some. And they all had guns in the shape of hypodermic needles. And they were in that high noon for their lives. They were drawing on themselves. And we looked at them and we said, learn from us old fucks. We may not have done it all right, but at least we're still around. To the top of the bridge.
ready for this. I don't know if anybody here ever sent in any weird shit to fuck facts or anything, but this is one of the things that turned up. First I found it in an airline flight magazine. Then I noticed it in magazines like your parents would read, but you'd never want to snoop in because they're too boring, like Sunset. This version is from the San Francisco Chronicle, the local attempt at the New York Times or something. And what we have here appears to be a professional fashion model. She's got a real angry look on her face. She's got a high school letter jacket on, has her hair mussed up just so to look like Chrissy Hind, and tinted that honey blonde, you know, like honey roasted peanuts for that Maria McKee angle or whatever. Looks to be about 28 or 30 years old, might have had her nose or her jaw fixed to look like Margot Hemingway. And the ad reads, "Julie's 14 and headed nowhere. What's next?" Julie is 14, unmotivated, irresponsible, angry, and rebellious. She is failing in school and associating with undesirable friends. She is unresponsive to parental guidance. They don't know where to turn for help. But if you have a daughter like Julie, there is an answer. The parents of children with difficult problems need special help. The Heritage School in Provo, Utah will deal with manipulation, teach responsibility, motivate, and change rebellious behavior. An 800 number to prove they're serious. Well, I've run into a couple different people who've been put away in schools like that, and they're accredited at schools and everything. What they seem to do is function more like privately owned concentration camps, where somebody can sign on the dotted line, pay 20 or 30,000 bucks, and have their kid incarcerated behind bars for as long as 18 months to 2 years. No criminal charge necessary. The guys I interviewed about this told me that, like, some people were sent in there for shaving the side of their head, or coming home late, or, let's see, what was the other one? Getting a B instead of an A at Beverly Hills High School. One of them met Dandy Don's Meredith's son at one of these places. So this is, and they get out from under kidnapping laws by having the parents sign on the dotted line, and then they owe the money even if they take the kid out of the school. The way they get to the kid to the school is they have 2 or 3 guys fly out from Utah, sneak into the kid's bedroom when he's asleep at about 4 in the morning and put handcuffs on him, beat him up to soften him up, as they say in Latin American torture chambers, and drag him away to Utah. And one of the kids I knew who had this happen in Huntington Beach said he didn't know whether he was going to get killed or whether he was being kidnapped. He couldn't understand why his parents weren't trying to help him, so much for love in the family. This is for people who survived something like that, with their minds somehow intact. It's called, "May All Your Dreams Be Wonderful." Something's wrong with you. You hate us. You're so mixed up and weird. A danky old maid on Oprah Winfrey confirmed our fears. It's that devil rock music you and your friends listen to. She says a drug-happy shrink or military school fix you. Our dime store books on problem families say it's true. You say you want respect. You say you want respect. What you need is discipline. We found out by writing away to the Back and Control Center in Fullerton, California. And they sent us the Punk Rock and Heavy Metal Handbook, where we learned how you could be a hardcore punk, a skinhead punk, a skate punk, into the occult by rock music include high-top tennis shoes, black clothing. You should be ashamed of yourself. Occult animals include cat, donkey, eagle, our national symbol, frog. Turn off the Muppet Show right now. Signs and symbols of occult graffiti. Oh no. Symbols of heavy metal are frequently placed underground, under bridges, in flood-controlled channels, and under freeway overpasses to be closer to hell and the devil. And these symbols of the occult include the Aussie logo, AC/DC, classified as Antichrist devil children, the peace symbol, which they call broken cross, cross upside down with arms broken to mock Christianity. And keep in mind, these people are certified LA and Orange County area probation officers who run this place. So judges order people to be sent here after shoplifting convictions and shit like that. Do you smell any bigotry yet? No. Other signs and symbols of the occult include the Jewish Star of David. And anybody ever seen Wide World of Sports, college football, University of Texas Longhorns, hook 'em horns, horns of the devil. Horns of the devil. 2 fingers up is denial of the Trinity. 3 fingers down with gesture, whatever that means, the 666. Didn't work. You say you want respect. What you need is discipline. So we're shipping you off to a private barbed wire reform school. Cuffs go on at 3:30 in the morning. You scream, we laugh. We love you too much to help you now. We just sit back and say, 20 grand a year, it's a small price to pay to avoid talking straight with our kids. May all your dreams be wonderful. At prison camp, honey dear. We're destroying you just to save you, so you'll even like living here. Once the beaver, always the beaver. Yeah. And don't forget to write. Part 2. Welcome to Utah, you little asshole. We're going to be seeing a lot of each other. Now, go to that room, take off all your clothes, prepare to be strip searched. This is your number. Mark it clearly on everything you own on the outside. Now, go to that area where those big dudes are, and you're going to stand silently, perfectly still, face against the wall, face 3 inches away from the wall for 1 whole week, while the big dudes just stand and watch you. One wrong move, and it's right back up against the wall, or another trip to solitary in our carpeted 4x4-foot cell, or maybe even the lie detector, or the hellhole where we dump problem cases who break down just a little too often for our liking. The guards that we call your counselors get their cracks at your ass playing football. Yeah. Busted nose? Who can you complain to? You'll learn how pointless it is to fight back. The only TV you get here is church programs on Sunday. Yeah. We won't even let you think what you want. How do they do that? See that cute, darling kid in the 3rd grade picture? That's our child. And that's what he's going to be like when he comes home from reform school. Rewired and cured, just the way we knew him. I bet he'll even get his own Pepsi. Once the beaver, always the beaver. 20 grand a year, it's a small price to pay to avoid talking straight with our kids. Part 3. Welcome home. We missed you so much. Now you're calm as a zombie, a model student in school. You've learned to like desks and let us pick your friends. Your old pals say you came back home a broken shell. But you'll thank us for all this one day. We know. We bet you'll send your own kids there when they steal your favorite handgun. You're not a person anymore. You're a good citizen. We like you better as a rugby shirt pet. We like you better when you're easy to use. Once the beaver, always the beaver. 20 grand a year? It's a small price to pay to avoid talking straight with our kids.
Thanks. Big band. A lot of you people might have a hero in your life, and that hero didn't turn out to be exactly what you wanted it to be, or who you wanted it to be. And you find out sooner or later that the biggest hero in your life should be yourself. This is a song dedicated to that very one person.
shuttle blew up. No! It wasn't the classroom full of school kids on TV, all sitting there whimpering and horrified with some of what they'd seen on the screen. Each one of them still wearing one of those pointed birthday hats. Album cover material? No! Our first reaction back at my place was each of us all sitting around daring each other to call up the local William Randolph Hearst Corporation-owned newspapers and say, "Oh, hi there. We're that legendary Libyan hit squad you've written so much about. And we blew up the space shuttle." Late that night, we gave up the idea. Same old excuse. What if we get caught? Sometimes it really does kind of make sense just to chicken out. But now I find out we were pretty damn lucky. If that shuttle, the Challenger, had made it back home, things might now be much worse. Because NASA had this little plan for the following space shuttle they somehow forgot to tell us about. I got this article Xeroxed and mailed to me out of a magazine called The Nation. Anybody heard of The Nation? Okay. This article was also later expanded in Common Cause magazine and was listed as one of the 10 most important censored news stories of 1986 by Project Censored in Berkeley. It was written that NASA had this little plan to send the next scheduled space shuttle up into orbit carrying a payload of 46 pounds of plutonium. Not a few ounces, not a few granules like grew all the zits on Karen Silkwood. 46 pounds of fucking plutonium. If that shuttle had blown up instead, there would have been enough radiation spread in our atmosphere to cause cancer in as many as 5 billion people. Amen. Not amen. Good God, where are you from? That's only about 1 billion more people than the population of the whole world. Amen. How reckless can you get? How reckless can you get? Up and away. Just launch Star Wars the easy way. Fire it up into the great beyond and just don't tell anybody you fucking put it up there. In America, after all, in America, when people don't know what hurts them, they don't care. Just blame the whole epidemic of fallout cancer on, Iran. And think of all the money people we know and love would make selling how to cope with cancer kits to High Times readers and yuppies. Not to mention a few new age bozos. That's why I'm glad the space shuttle blew up. Because if one more had gone up and blown up instead, it would have melted all of us, too.
I feel the mind of this audience widening and widening and widening. Kind of reminds me of John Lester's asshole if they let him into the prison population, you know? This is a song called The A-Show Walk.
Names for bands. I have a little more of the stage here. Oh, you just broke a bottle of Rolling Rock.
Oh, alcohol abuse.
Names for bands. Every once in a while, no, Lunch Patrol isn't that great a name for a band. I knew I did that just to bug you. But every once in a while, somebody will come up to me and ask me to come up with a name for their band. You know, hey, I'm tired of all those other names. Think of something good. I mean, you would think that the band would want to take care of that, right? No. But oh no, in a culture where we're brought up by our schools and our media to aspire to be spectators, people want someone else to feed them the magic band name. Well, I try in good faith, but every damn time I keep drawing a blank. So lately I've been writing them down. I mean, to think about it, it's a great way to meet people when you're new in town. You know, like carrying extra matches or cigarettes for people to bum. Hey, you got a pen I can borrow? Oh yeah, carry 20. Me, I carry band names. People need them too. I mean, how many times have you heard the same old cliche band names over and over and over again? Something new? Oh no. Pick a formula, any formula. The Lone Cowboys. A good band, mind you, but that name I had to bring in here. How about Leather Wolf? Scruffy the Cat. Cute as college radio, eh? Night Ranger. Gypsy Blue. Big River. Virgin Steel. Rat. And let's not forget them generic bands that sometimes give hardcore punk a bad name. I mean, a lot of you probably know there's an East Coast-based band that, you know, takes themselves really seriously now and calls themselves Youth of Today. And before that, we had Bored Youth, Angry Youth, Youth Army. Bob Mulder, Husker Du suggested Young Youth. I told Tim and some of the guys at Maximum Rock and Roll, hey, you criticize everybody's records, you should do your own. You know, put your money where your mouth is. You could be Old Youth. They took it in good humor and everything. And like, we've had Dead Youth, we could have Generic Youth, we have Crucial Youth. Oh God, what else? Senile Youth. Somebody at one of my other appearances suggested Redundant Youth. I mean, the first step to a really good band name is to start with a good concept. So picture this one for heavy metal. Granted, the most conservative of all loud rock music. No gym teacher could get so many people to dress alike. But there's still room for a good concept. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to rock? Would you please welcome live from global corporate headquarters, this week's heavy metal sensation, Mondale! Mondale! Picture it flashing on and off in that gleamy silvery gothic lettering they all use now. Mondale! 20 feet tall at Madison Square Garden, swarming with all them zombie-like fans, lighting the matches and shaking their fists in obedience to their fearless leader, just like the people who Sig Heiled Hitler in the Nazi propaganda film. Spot the difference. While on stage, there's these 5 Walter Mondales all kicking ass on the stage. With their blue business suits, wrapped in bullet belts, spike bracelets, Viking helmets, maybe a flaming tie for the singer. Mondale! You would have made a great heavy metal hero. I mean, everybody sing along with me one time. Lane Kirkland rules me. Yeah. Half the guys in Deep Purple are just like Walter Mondale. Or how about How about one of them new age audio sedative packages? You know, the mellow sunset on the cover, and computer graphic typeset from high up on Windham Hill. Earth fart. Or, just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, Leonard Skinner has reformed. Yes. I mean, everybody else is playing 70s rock now, except Alice Donut and the False Prophets and a few more, so Leonard Skinner has reformed, and what do you know? They're talking about a revival of Southern rock. You know, got your beer bellies, got your pickup trucks, got your Confederate flags, got your racism, got your 3 guitar players and your 4 or 5 drummers. Pork barrel. Or imagine all the images you could conjure up or drill into people's minds if you called your band the Deadists. Or, ready? Electric meat, pink meat, anchovy smegma, food beat, black lung, conqueror worm, my sweet slaughterhouse, pets eat their master. Or how about, you know, one of them snazzy glitzo designer bands, Hunk. Or Hunk Hunk. The Soul Sandblasters. Id Vaccine. War Cookies. Atomic Utopia. Shut Up and Buy. Frankenchrist. Chromewood. Tits, ass, and money. The Absentee Thought Lords. Criminal Spa. Peeping Tom Collins. Chocolate Fetus. The Marching Taboos. Tiger Lard. Clown Feast. The Janitors of Anarchy. Lost Orgasm. Root Canal. Club God. Allergic to Work. 3 Mile Colostomy. Or Satan's Buttermilk. The Lone Derangers. Why me? The Gingerbread Werewolves. Quiche Migraine. Root Beer Romance. Oven Romance. Angel Pus. Or the Magic Truncheons. God! Conform or die. Fun with treason. You're fired. Video sex pope. Facelift in a jar. Cancer cures everything. South Africa. Be my urinal. Bark on cue. The Crotch Puppets. Pink Swill. Pneumonia Wranglers. Magnum Dada. John Wayne on acid. That gets them every time. Beef Asylum. Overkill for breakfast. Or the Ku Klux Flintstones. Elvis Rehnquist. Crushed Velvet Vivisection. Dracula was gay. Air guitar. The Manson Surfers. We're So Pure. Bank of Sodom. Motor Sheep. Uranium Playpen. Sell Your Mom. Velvet Volcano. The Screwworm Flies. This list could go on all night. So why be the 35th band in a row to call yourselves Bad Attitude, or Vengeance, or Guns N' Roses, when you could storm the globe as the imperial turd sickles. Conquer MTV with primer gray erection. Or, coming soon to the Ritz, exclusive East Coast appearance direct from England, would you please welcome Failure? Or, coming soon to Madison Square Garden, tickets $20 in advance, $120 at the door, fraud! And if you really want to get under people's skin and make them think, forget Dead Kennedys, that's already been done. But you could still take a grainy photo of your friend and mine, Mr. Patriot, Oliver North. Put him on the front cover of the album and title this album, Lest We Forget. Then, top it all off with the name of the band, Lest We Forget by 6 Million Jews.
Puppets, masters, the blindly obedient, the blindly obedient. I'm 27 years old. I didn't boogie on down to my post office. I'm special. Selective Service don't have my name.
But what I did bring, now we're going to do a cover version here. This is out of the Washington Post as well as a book. Is rock music rotting our kids' minds?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, they say. Well, now view this article through the eyes of some conservative person who never talks to their own kids, who's reading the Washington Post. Picture a 13-year-old boy sitting in the living room of his family home, doing his math assignment while wearing his Walkman headphones watching MTV. a pubescent child whose body throbs in orgasmic rhythms, whose feelings are made articulate in hymns to the joys of onanism or the killing of parents.
Blasphemy! Blasphemy!
Whose ambition is to win fame and wealth in imitating the drag queen who makes the music. In short, life is made into a non-stop, commercially prepackaged, masturbational fantasy. People of future civilizations will find it as incomprehensible as we do the caste system in India, witch-burning harems, cannibalism, or gladiators. The family spiritual void has left the field open to rock music. When they turn on the television, they will see President Reagan warmly grasping the daintily proffered glove of Michael Jackson and praising him enthusiastically. The result is nothing less than parents' loss of control over their children's moral education. This has been achieved by an alliance between the strange young males who have the gift of divining the mob's emergent wishes and the record company executives, the new robber barons. The rock business has all the moral dignity of drug trafficking. And now it is too late. Now it is too late. Rock music provides premature ecstasy. I suspect that the rock addiction, particularly in the absence of strong counteractions, has an effect similar to that of drugs. The students who listen to rock music will one day study economics or the professions, and Michael Jackson's costume will slip off to reveal a Brooks Brothers suit underneath. They will finally see the light of getting ahead and living comfortably. But as long as they have that Walkman on, they cannot hear what great tradition has to say. And after its prolonged use, when they take it off, they find they are deaf. This was not written by a TV evangelist. This wasn't written by the PMRC. This was written by a sociology professor named Alan Bloom of the University of Chicago, and his book is now in the bestseller lists. Maybe the PMRC isn't so widely known anymore. Maybe we barely got off by the skin of our teeth in the Frankenchrist trial, but we still got a lot of debts to pay. But these characters are alive and well, and they're growing. Chuck Young tonight brought me an issue of the New Republic magazine, you know, the bastion of good old liberalism for 50 or 60 years. And their first article, written by the whole editors, is how Tipper Gore is great. Tipper Gore has hoodwinked another victim. They ignore that she gets all her so-called data from TV evangelists and people, you know, the kind of people who say, you know, that I should be prosecuted for calling Jerry Falwell a racist. Tipper Gore, the fake liberal. Tipper Gore who said, oh, we didn't really mean it with the Senate hearings. We just, well, it was all somebody else's fault. And then on January 8th of this year in a newspaper called the Metro in Nashville, Tipper Gore is asked about my trial, and she says, I'd like to take credit for that. Who are they kidding? Tipper Gore even goes as far as to pitch this concerned parent Halloween mask, the ruse, the fake liberal ruse, to Cream magazine. She was invited to debate me in D.C. in front of all the Christians, and she wouldn't do it. In front of her own audience, she was too chicken shit to debate other people. But this is what she says to Cream magazine. I love music. I particularly love rock and roll. The normal sex and sensuality of rock and roll is not my beef. I don't want to see them take good old rock and roll too far. really have to bring it to 11-year-olds, do they?
Yes!
Well, they're gonna get a fight bringing it to mine. I guess we did. But that doesn't mean I'm an uptight prude who wants to ban rock. I grew up on rock, just like millions of my generation. Sure learned a lot too, didn't you? But consumers and parents have rights too. I want my children to enjoy the best that rock has to offer. Or else. I resent the fact that some artists and record companies cynically abuse their power. Power? Power? Cynically abuse their power over the young kids to blatantly commercialize brutality and explicit sexual references complete with moans and groans. Well, granted, I mean, some of that happens. I don't dig it either. I mean, Tipper Gore has obviously listened to far more Combat Records products than I have. It particularly fosters a degrading attitude towards women. These torture rock artists. I mean, I can agree with her about the sexism part, but I mean, my God, torture rock? What do you think about torture rock? What's torture rock? Phil Collins? Brandos? Bruce Springsteen? These torture rock artists have introduced it in lyrics, visuals, and live performances. Even liberals are beginning to get upset. And guess which liberal was a lonely voice in the wilderness in the 1970s calling for censoring rock records? Jesse Jackson. Ask Jesse Jackson about what he thinks of rock and roll sometime. These artists are guilty of smearing rock. These artists are guilty of smearing rock, but not the responsible rockers and music lovers who are also parents and feel responsible for the nurturing of children. These are new demographic facts taken for me by my TV evangelist friends. But, says Tipper, everyone can do their own thing. So, says Tipper, let's keep the hardcore stuff away from the kids. The industry should help, as if they don't already. This will enhance individual freedom of choice. Yes, she says it'll enhance individual freedom of choice. And then she ends her letter by saying, by the way, I never use hairspray. I prefer to be natural. And thanks. Sincerely yours, Tipper Gore, Carthage, Tennessee. Just wait till you hear what Alice Donut has to say about her on their album.
Procession march a clicking sound. They knew not how it came around. Procession march a clicking sound. They knew not how it came around. Who doesn't know the spoken song? Every boy that day, children fall. Fucking fingers pointed, a second wicked death by those anointed. They locked the doors of school and steeple and teach the hell these immoral people. But the plague raged on, words could not defeat it. For history not learned, we're condemned to repeat it.
So I wrote her back. All right. Dear Tipper Gore, PMRC, and Cream readers, on the surface, your letter justifying your campaign to censor rock was surprisingly convincing. I'd almost be ready to fall for your concerned mommy act if it weren't for what your group says they really have in mind. If the PMRC doesn't want to censor, why do its own handouts that they send to people call for, get this is a real quote, they call for the reassessment of contracts of artists who do things on stage they don't approve of. Sound like Joe McCarthy yet? Reassessment of contracts? This isn't just censorship, ma'am. This is blackballing. If the PMRC is not a front for the religious right, then you sure as hell are their dupes.
Fascism!
Why else would your proposed record warning sticker guidelines call for a separate rating in addition to PG and R of O for occult? Censorship is like a certain brand of potato chips. No one can stop with just one. First 7-Eleven, you remember they pulled out Playboy and Penthouse because the Ed Meese Inquisition said that they were pornography. 1 month later, the religious right got their cue. And the third largest variety store in America, Walmart, you know, they're third next to Kmart and Sears. Walmart is next. They pulled out Spin, Rolling Stone, Cream, even Tiger Beat. Because you might lose Ledge Patrol publicity if they pull Tiger Beat. But guess who told them that those magazines were satanic and got them so scared that they pulled them out of the third largest convenience store chain in America, run by the richest man in America. Who was he afraid of? Jimmy Swaggart. More powerful than Rupert Murdoch. Next, 85 stores in a chain based in Dallas called Sound Warehouse pulled a couple dozen albums off of their shelves on the grounds they were satanic. And the satanic bands included Lords of the New Church, and here's a devil-worshipping band for you, Black Flag. I mean, how many people, can you imagine anybody in Black Flag embracing organized religion? Which domino gets toppled next? Take a look at what's being purged from our school libraries. What is explicit pornography, anyway?
Wizard of Oz!
Yeah, that's one that's getting purged from the school library. Yeah, that's another one. Who defines what a cult is when records get rated? You, Mrs. Gore, back in control. Jimmy Swaggart?
Mrs. Smith in Tennessee.
Your witch hunt has damaged the lives of real victims. Me and 4 other people had a year and a half of our lives disrupted, derailed, and wasted because someone in power with no sense of humor didn't like what Dead Kennedy said on a record album. It was a political prosecution with a lot more to come. The climate you, Mrs. Gore, and Mr. Ed helped create is what made it lucrative for these charges to be filed the day before Election Day. The LA City Attorney's Office says they picked us to bust because it was cost-effective. That was their quote, cost-effective. In other words, we got busted instead of Prince or Madonna or even G.G. Allen because we run our own record company and we're therefore the easiest to put out of business. I agree, Mrs. Gore, that too much of today's music does blatantly commercialized brutality and does foster a degrading attitude towards women. That's funny. So does soap operas. So does moonlighting. So does almost everything on primetime TV, especially the commercials. So let's face it, Judas Priest and Wasp are just our generation's equivalent of Bob Hope and Bing Crosby. They are, you know, skilled comedians who know how to play it safe to make a buck. Kind of like speed metal, right? Sure, they're corny, but does that mean they should be censored? What encourages more kids to go wind up dead? Ozzy Osbourne or military recruiting ads?
G.I. Joe!
And why? Why is country western spared from your war on words? I've heard a lot of whiskey-drenched honky-tonk tunes that glorify with people with guns who beat up their wives. Or, it's okay, yeah, right, it's okay because Mr. Tipper Gore, Albert Gore, is a senator from Tennessee and must respect the powers down in Nashville. He's not the only PMRC husband running for president, by the way. The other ones are Jack Kemp. Believe it or not, Paul Simon is married to a PMRC wife. Come on. Do you really think taking away a kid's Prince and Ozzy records and substituting R.E.M. and Phil Collins as your cassette tells parents to do will do anything to change the kid's taste besides making him even angrier at his parents? If I were a parent and my kid brought home something that I felt really could harm him, like say Top Gun on video or an Agnostic Front album or something, I wouldn't just take the thing away. I wouldn't just hit the roof and yell at him. I mean, would that teach the kid that what he brought home might screw up his head and turn him into a macho bozo or something? No. It would just reinforce the notion that daddy's mean, daddy's an asshole, daddy took my record away, daddy's a fascist. What I would do is sit down with the kid and say, okay, you spent your own money on that. Why? What do you think the artist is saying here? How do you think people in these songs feel? Come on, let's have an intelligent discussion here. How does it affect you? Seems to me, Mrs. Gore, that rational communication is a far better way to help nurture a loving family. Your letter claims you are, quote, not an uptight prude who wants to ban rock. Yet, you keep on trying to restrict our music to your own idea of normal sex and sensuality. I was born in the USA too. I do not need a bouffant-encrusted font police to tell me or younger kids what they can listen to. Your fantasies of laws that wash our art out with soap would be a whole lot funnier if the PMRC had a lot less money and power. Speaking of money and power, guess who sponsors the PMRC? No, not Ledge Patrol. Coors Beer. Coors Beer. Next time. All right. You serve Coors Beer here. The money. Hang on. Adolf Coors got murdered. Anyway, next time you buy a Coors up at the counter, keep in mind the money that goes back to Coors is going into the PMRC and the Contras and the Heritage Foundation and Jesse Helms. Since I was below drinking age. sharp eye out for censorship in this area and be prepared to fight back. If they start trying to shut down radio stations again, support those radio stations. Support underground live music. If Tipper Gore, we'll get to music in a second. If Tipper Gore comes to Hawker Brook or Albert Gore comes to New York to campaign, go visit him. At the very least, why give the PMRC sponsors your money? I ain't gonna be buying no Coors beer for a long time. And by the way, Mrs. Gore, I don't care if you use hairspray. Big as normal. That one, yeah, that one looks like a good one to steal. There might be one in the dressing room though, but we'll find out. Testing, 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 testing. Testing, testing, tweet-la, tweet-la, tweet-la. Picture a 13-year-old boy sitting in the living room of his bathroom. Testing, tweet-la, 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 whoop-de-doo, testing, testing, testing. Testing. Here we go again. Picture a 13-year-old boy sitting in the living room of his family home doing his math assignment while wearing his Walkman headphones and watching MTV. A pubescent child whose body throbs with orgasmic rhythms, whose feelings are made articulate in hymns to the joys of onanism or the killing of parents, whose ambition is to win fame and wealth in imitating the drag queen who makes the music. In short, life is made into a non-stop commercially prepackaged masturbational fantasy. Okay.
It might be a little easier when there's people in the room, you know.
Yeah.
Feedback things go.
I prefer not to use one of these for this because I want to walk around and I can't do that if I'm just standing with that.
Do you talk louder like that?
Yeah, probably. I probably will, yeah.
What I should do is leave one I didn't hear anybody much louder.
Alright, do you want to hear? This lead boost doesn't really go up that.
I don't even know where she patched it in.
Those are just like some flute-like sounds, and then there's some metal, metallic sounds. Just different samples.
I want to play one of the other metallic. I just want to see how much different the level is.
Okay, this one then.
Boy. I gotta sing in this fucking mess. Are you kidding me? Sounds good. That is deep and heartfelt now.
Which one were you just bashing on your cymbals over there?
Come
shell. Rip off the shrink wrap and rip in the music.
being with me. And once in a while I feel like being dry. But we're doomed and we're drowned by this feeling we surround. So I hope that I get up before I die. Oh, it's a long, long road that used to hang you tonight. We're off the kitchen table, darling. For on the kitchen table I must lie. I'm just tired through my heart, serve the banquet of my life.